All right, what a cracking day, Adam, and you are the defending champion of the Charity Mile, which we'll get to in due course. But we start off in race one with a horse called In a Million and Francie Herald.
Yeah, you know, it's a competitive Java handicap. He is a nice staying type. I think he enjoys a standside track, you know, Val, long straight. He enjoys those type of courses. If you race on the inside track, he really needs things to go his way. So being on the standside, right type of trip for him. He's working well at home. I think he's a horse that he's got a nice chance for minor money chances.
Yeah, he's pretty fit. A little bit disappointed with his last two runs, but they were with blinkers, and I'd like to just put it down to that. His run before the blinkers came on was a good one, so we're hoping he can regain some of that form, and then he will have a big chance.
Tambalang, she's done quite nicely, this filly, and just towards the end of last season, she went off, and maybe I'd given her a bit too much to do through the season. She needed her first run. I was quite satisfied with that run, and she'll obviously come on. I don't know if she's at peak fitness, but she's, I think, fit enough to run a decent race in what seems to be an open field.
Yeah, Andrew, you know, this race, it's the race where they're trying something new and the jockeys aren't allowed to use crops. So when I look through the field, I would think horses that have had a run would naturally be at a bit of an advantage. You know, horses that haven't had a run, sometimes they need the stick just for a little bit of encouragement or a little bit of guidance in a race. So that's going to be an education, you know, to see. I think everyone's going to be watching and seeing how it goes along. Henry James, we were quite happy with his first run. He was very green. He's come on really nicely. We decided not to run him on the hard going over the winter, so we've waited. I think the going's really good at the moment. And you know, he's a horse that shows nice work at home, hoping that he can bring it to the race course. Split, he's a horse that shows a lot of pace. He's got a nice big action. If he doesn't shape here, we'll probably try him over a little bit further. But he has improved from his last start, and we are expecting a better effort. Reach for the line. He's a nice horse. These Patala Palaces, really, you know, they're showing us decent work at home, and they look like they're going to be horses that may win more than one or two races. And it'll be nice to see how he goes. I think he may just be in need of the run, and he'll do well with the education. Yeah, he's a horse that's been showing us some smart work, but in the same time he's been very coltish. So we've got to hope that he behaves on the day. It's a strong race. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of nice first timers, and there's a nice horse of Mr. Woodruff. So it'll be a good line for us. No stick's going to be interesting as well, but I expect him to be right there, and I expect him to improve a lot.
We now move on to the first leg of the place accumulator, where Greener Pastures is your nominee.
Yeah, she comes out of a very strong form line. Reason for the rest, she did have a little hiccup, but she's well over that. She's had a lot of work. She's in good form at home. Another strong race, competitive, but I expect her to be right there.
Yes, against the grain, needed his first run quite badly. He ran on very strongly. And I went for the money races as a maiden in Durban, and he acquitted himself really well. I think obviously once I knew this race was on, I kept him for this race, and he's been doing very well at home. It seems to be quite a strong field for a field that was drawn out the hat, and you know, as confident I am of a big run, there are quite a few horses that have claims.
What might be the race of the day is the inverted commas possible match race between CHIMICHURI RUN and ALYAASAAT. You get the weight, and he's a really top horse.
He is handy, but 1400 is definitely bottom of his range, whereas a horse like CHIMICHURI RUN looks like a good sprinter mile at this stage. So it's going to be interesting, but the horse comes into the race very fit, very happy, and yeah, it's hard to make predictions, but I'm sure he'll run a big race.
And then of course you've got some more than ample support with FIRDOAS.
Yeah, she's a nice filly. She is coming off a layoff, but she doesn't take too much work. It's very hard to judge how she's going to go. You know, being a 3-year-old, the 3-year-old's always improving, and sex allowance in a colt race. So it's really hard to make a judgment call, but her well-being is spot on.
I'm sure he's going to be suited to the trip. He has got a wide berth, and obviously giving away a few kilos. The filly at the bottom is getting quite a bit of weight from him. You know, Andrew, from that draw, you're going to have to just switch him off and let him run on. If he gets there, it's a bonus. If not, you know, we have to look at the big picture. You can't bustle him to find a posse and then obviously, you know, risk the rest of his season. So we'll take our chances, drop him out, he'll come running on, and if he's good enough, he'll get there. If not, as long as he acquits himself well and shows us what direction we're going in, I'll be more than happy.
Okay, in the same race as CHIMICHURI RUN, you've got Lyle aboard In Cahoots.
In Cahoots is a horse that has shown a lot, and obviously he did need gelding. He's run with these good 3-year-olds when they were 2, and he's acquitted himself well. In the Group 1 at Scottsville, you can put a line right through that race. He was making up good ground and he got cleaned up by the winner. I think the geldings helped him, and I'm expecting a big run.
Silken Prince, this is an extremely tough Graham Beck, although that he won well, he won impressively last time out, and he was a horse that is improving. Also another Patala Palace that we think, he could be a nice horse for the future for us. I do think that the race is very competitive, and if he had to run into minor money, we would be happy with that.
Yeah, greatest wish. He definitely wants a lot further than this. I'm not sure in this company that he's up to winning a race like this, but if he can earn a stake check, I'm sure the owners will be more than pleased, because he's the type of horse that will be going 10 furlongs one day.
Yeah, the SASH is a filly that her first start over 1200 we knew was way too short for her, and then we put her over a mile, and she shaped well there. She won, and we thought that she would go close, so it was nice that she won that race. Coming back to the 1450. Probably a touch sharp for her. That's why we've kept the blinkers on last time out, to see if she showed improvement with them, in which she did. Her run behind Mr. Tarry's horse, we thought on the weights was a great run, and we give her a chance in this type of field. I think you have to respect Chesney's horse. It comes in with good form, and going through the form lines, I made that the horse to beat, but our horse should be right there.
Yeah, still a maiden, obviously a very strong race, and I think Chesney's horse looks just about a penalty kick. But this filly's been progressive. She disappointed in Durban, but she hasn't let the side down here in Joburg, and I'm expecting a decent showing.
Yeah, rail trip, she's doing well. She had a nice comeback run, and she ran a very nice race. Her work has been great at home, and I'm hoping for a big performance.
That's an incredibly strong hand.
Yeah, a very strong hand. Also hard to make predictions. That's why we're running them against each other to see who's the best. All the preps have gone well. They're happy horses at the moment, and looking forward to Saturday.
Yes, CELTIC SEA prepping for the Fillies Guineas in Cape Town. She's doing very well. Her work's good. She may just need it, but again, she's the class of the race, and she should be finishing strongly. Sand Princess will be definitely suited to this course. She's a nice filly, and if she doesn't get it right in this type of company to be right there in the placings, then you can watch her in a few weeks' time or a few months' time. She's definitely going to be progressive. And Crimson, I think the last time we tried the ground, she didn't stay. We've come back, we've put the blinkers on, and we're hoping for a good showing.
La Linea in the final leg of the pick 6.
Yeah, La Linea is a nice filly, also being thrown in the deep end, and also once again just hoping that she can produce something.
Her last 2 runs have been very nice. I've been a little bit disappointed with her before them. I thought that she'd run quite well, and she just let us down. But in saying that, she's been running well at Turfentine over the 1400 metre races, and she's done nothing wrong. So if she can reproduce that sort of race in the 1800 metre race, where she relaxes nicely and comes from off the pace with a late run, I think she'll be a big runner, especially with the low weight. Hopefully she can run right there.
Yes, once again, a little bit of a rush prep. We've had to run her 2 prep runs quite close, but she made good progress in her second race, and hopefully there is going to be further progress. She's also once again come down in the weights, which is a nice bonus. She's got a good draw, and I think she'll be there.
Okay, I'm going to stretch it to 11 and 12, if you don't mind. We're going to talk about one of the most honest and reliable horses in training, multiple Group 1 winner, French Navy returns, along with Safe Harbour. Then we move on to the 8th, where you've got Mujalid.
Yeah, it was full of ability, a little bit disappointing. Not sure what his ideal distance is, so we're just throwing him in the deep end, blinkers on, and hoping for the best.
When Riverine comes back after a break, he's a horse that's got huge ability, but he wasn't moving that smoothly towards the end of his last campaign.
Yeah, as you said, he's a horse that we know is steeped with ability, and there was certain things that we weren't able to get on top of, and he just needed the time for us to get on top of them. Fortunately for us, Tinus and Brian have given us the time, and the horse is really doing well. He's moving exceptionally well. May just be in a touch need of the run, but being 1,000 meters, he could run well fresh, and I think he's a horse that may enjoy running well fresh. So, you know, it's a horse that I wouldn't say leave out or not pay attention to. His work's good at home.
Yes, Andrew, it's his first run coming back from a gelding. Last time out it all went wrong, and Anton said he choked up quite a way into the race at the 1,000 meter at Greyville. So obviously we opted to go for the sprint race and bring him back where he's done nothing wrong, and start from the beginning with him and build him back into the swing of things. He's doing well back at home. I'm very happy with the way he's doing, and he's got a nice low weight, and hopefully he can be competitive there.
Noble Secret has his probable final prep. Super smart horse, and he seems to be living up to the expectations of what he showed us early on in his career.
Yeah, touchwood, you know, things have gone very well. Mr. Costa Lavanas has allowed us to be nice and patient with him, with the view of aiming him at the Summer Cup. You know, everything's in his favour. He's drawn for nice weight, but the mile's probably just a bit short for him. He ran third in the Derby, so we've got to bear that in mind. You know, if he can run in the first three, we're going to be ecstatic, because, you know, our main goal has been the Summer Cup.
He's not a similar looking horse, but similar type of horse in terms of his distance preference to Wolf Whistle.
Yeah, listen, he's a grinder. I think the further, the harder they go, the better horse you'll see.
Yes, Tilbury Fort, I think he runs fresh. He's got a nice galloping weight. Lyle gets on really well with him, and he enjoys the course and distance. So I think he's going to give a really good account of himself. Matador Man's prep run was eye-catching. Although his best form is at Greyville, he has won at Turfentine, and he's got a reasonable weight. I mean, he won quite impressively and only incurred a small penalty, so we were fortunate. He's got to have a chance on form. Bulleting home, you can ignore his last run completely. I'm not too sure what went wrong. We are changing the bit and hoping that it was just the bit that he wasn't comfortable with. And then Social Order, second run, he needed his first run back, prepping towards the Summer Cup, but I think if given a patient ride, he'll be running on very strongly.
Last year's winner, Hat Puntana, who has had surgery and is moving particularly well.
Yeah, Hat Puntana finishing about 8 lengths off last time out, not having had a gallop coming into the race, but you know, he did have an op, and the horse is extremely sound at the moment, which I think is the main thing, and we're really happy with the way in which he's moving. He showed huge improvement from that race, and I think everyone can expect a much better run this time out. Hopefully we can reproduce what we did last year, running unplaced and then coming and winning the race. That'll, you know, make everyone happy, and you know, the camp's expecting a much more improved run than what we saw last time out. Full Master, he's a horse that's just carried on improving, and his preparation going into the race has been faultless, other than getting a draw like that. So, you know, I think it's going to come down to a lot of luck with him. Had he had a good draw, I would have made him a really big runner. But now, with a draw like that, I think we're going to need a lot more luck than anything else. Arctic are consistent as they come, you know. He runs with the best of them, and he always runs well. He runs with the worst of them, and he always runs well. So he's just that type of horse. He's Mr. Consistent. He's there or thereabout. Got a decent draw, got a jockey that's riding really well and full of confidence. And I think Ryan should be able to get the best out of him, and hopefully he can be competent enough to be right there.
And then the final two runners on the day, Balustrade is in the 10th.
Yeah, she's obviously had a problem, had surgery, and she's come back well. She's a very nice filly, shown some good work at home. She obviously will need the run, but you know, hopefully that she's got enough ability that she can go close.
And then the last runner of the day is a horse packed with ability. He's a very, very big talking horse and loads of ability, Buffalo Bill Cody.
Yeah, he is packed with ability, but once again he's coming off a long layoff, and he's still a little mentally immature for me. He's not battle hardened like some of the horses around, but you know, if he can win, it'll be super impressive, because I know he's got tons of improvements, and his horse people can follow in his next few starts.
And of course he'll probably have to deal with the lights as well, I guess.
Yeah, it's I don't think it's too much of a concern for him. He's not crazy in that sense. He's just maybe a little mentally immature.
He'd had a lot of racing French, and I haven't really given him a long break, and after the autumn season I decided to give him a really long break, and he's enjoyed it. He's loving it. He's sound, and yeah, he's just got to be running on and show something to go forward into the Victory Moon. Safe Harbour also might just need the run, but she had a wind up and she's doing really well. She should be finishing strongly. And Warriors Rest also had quite a rush prep, but he's a big guy and he handles it well. He made very good improvement from his first run to his second run, And if there's not that the run is coming too soon, I think he's a big runner.
Finally, the Rocket Man in race number 11.
Yeah, this is a very competitive race. He is coming back off after a rest, but he has got a nice lightweight. We think that he'll need the run and looking for improvement thereafter. He's also another horse that we're fortunate to have, ultra consistent. We were tossing up whether running him in the mile where we've got Rocket Man or in the 14, because he won a mile impressively last time, bumping quite a tough field. But we thought the 1400 on the stand side with the long straight should be right for him, and we're hoping that he can run a similar type of race to what he has been running, and then he should definitely have a chance.
Yeah, Desert Rhythm, we're hoping she gets a run in the Charity Mile, because she's had a very good prep. Her last run was eye-catching. She wasn't that well weighted in the race, and yet she came home very well in a very strong race. Her prep has been perfect, so if she takes her place here, she would have a chance. And Bold Viking too, I think, found trouble in the Grand Heritage and actually ran a very good race. So I think coming back to the stand side, it will definitely suit him better, even though it is quite a competitive race.